And here we go. There's this moment, Clara. This is the moment I was talking about right now. Munoz coming forward, whips it across. It's 1-0 to Palace. There you go. That's the moment. That's literally the moment I was talking about.
So, oh, this is concerning. And here's the counter-attack. And they've scored. Oh, that's not good. It's not good.
They score here. This will be ridiculous. Ball in. Oh my God! Palace are winning. That is absolute smash and grab.
Oh no, Eze just scored. Damn it.
Eze scores. First attack of the game for Palace.
Is he giving it? Is he giving it? He's giving it. I think he's giving it.
The keeper who shouldn't be on the pitch has saved it. The keeper who shouldn't be on the pitch has saved it.
This is corruption beyond belief at this point.
Take back the sad word goodbye.
Oh my God! What is happening, man? Ah!
Oh my God! Oh, just give him the cup at half time. What's the point?
It's so cruel without you here beside me. And break my heart.
Here he is. Here he is. Saved.
Under this hurt you goes when you walk out the door and walk out of my life.
Welcome back to the Fan Channel Review Show here on the Football Terrace. Hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribing. Some pain, some frustration, some claims of corruption as well. I'm sure Palace will have undeniable evidence that there was no corruption, but there we go. And a lot of City fans, not of the game, but also not doing watch-alongs yesterday. I found that a little interesting. But let's jump into it. First off, he didn't show up on the Football Terrace yesterday. He had the link. He could have called in. He didn't want to show his face. So we thought we'd share a little bit from his space yesterday.
I will not accept this. This is unacceptable.
You've got to accept it because it happened.
This is unacceptable. What are we doing here?
Not my FA Cup defeat.
My head is hot. Wallahi, head is hot.
I bet you can see steam off his head when he's hot, literally. I bet it's like a kettle.
I can cook eggs. I can fry eggs on my head. Wallahi, it's so hot.
It's shiny enough. It's shiny like a saucepan.
Feel my temperature, man.
The thing is with Hamza, of course his head's hot. Of course he's fuming. His team just lost an FA Cup final, which is fair. But he never sees anything bad coming. Now, you all know me. I don't like to tempt fate. I was worried about Crystal Palace going into this game, but they had a chance. They had a chance. And we said on Friday that they went into this game and defended well, didn't get overawed, didn't get carried away. They would have a chance of beating this Manchester City team. And a really interesting point that's come up before the game, you know, and I was this is one thing I hate about doing watch-alongs because I don't want to say stuff and then jinx it. That's just my way. But a lot of City fans, wrong slide, calling this out. Pep hasn't learned his lesson about not starting a central defensive midfielder in a final. And you had Nico Gonzalez on the bench yesterday. Now, I know he can play multiple positions, but he kind of came in as someone to back up after Rodri's injury. Not even getting minutes at the moment. Bernardo Silva and KDB working that area. Well, I think when you look back at it now, it's unbelievable. Based on that, though, listen to what this City fan had to say in relation to their setup. Take a little listen to this. Trust me, it is gold.
Nice.
Well, they'd had a nightmare of a game, and I came on with you two fellas, and I said, we've got one of the most lethal strikers in the world, but we're not as dangerous when he's in the team. And you weren't sure about that. And I'm telling you now, I've said it ever since, and it's proving time and time again.
We won a treble, so it didn't prove you right. You haven't been proven right.
No, we have been because that was after that. Yeah. So what I'm saying is,
no, but he won the treble.
But listen. So the way that we play, the way that Pep wants to play, when Haaland isn't getting those early balls in, which he doesn't get anymore, because let's be honest, Kev's injured most of the time and he's past his best. When he doesn't get them,
that's the real problem. But let's just continue anyway.
Forget him. He's out of the game.
Yeah, no.
We're playing with 10 men. And the best run of form that we've had all of this season has coincided with the run when he's been out. And the 2 games he's come back, and all of a sudden, we're back to the dross we were playing earlier on this season. I'm telling you now, I'm not saying he's not a great striker. He's a great striker, but he's a terrible footballer.
Stop it. Get some help.
Terrible football player. Again, this is an this is an exaggeration. This is panic here. Let's look at yesterday as an example in isolation. KDB is playing deep. Bernardo Silva is playing deep. They're creative players to a certain degree, especially KDB, but they're playing deep because players like Nico Gonzalez are on the bench. Pep's fault. Yes, you're right. The ball isn't being fed into or crossed accurately enough into Erling Haaland. The answer isn't get rid of the most prolific striker in the world when he's being fed. The answer is your sporting directors and your manager between them have to recruit and develop more creativity. You're not going to do that playing your most creative player in a double pivot and taking him away from the edge of the box on a more regular basis. And he still created chances yesterday, by the way, KDB, the pass to Nico, to O'Reilly, sorry. Excellent. This idea that yesterday's defeat was on Erling Haaland. I heard it at the time yesterday and I've reassessed it. And I thought, yeah, not a lot of touches. He doesn't offer, he's not Ronaldinho. He isn't R9 on the ball. But what he is clinical. You've got to create for him. The solution here for City isn't sell Erling Haaland and buy somebody else. It's create more chances. The fact that Doku and Savinho barely create him chances. Foden, when he's on the pitch, did absolutely nothing. You've got all these players that are meant to feed the attackers. Nothing happening. That's the big issue. But they're turning on Haaland. Losing their minds. Let's take a look at another here.
It's Palace 1, City 0. That was diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. You know, there's fans out there blaming, the decision Dean Henderson should have been sent off. Personally, from what I've seen back, he should have been. Oh my God, I've just seen it back. How is that not a red card?
I'll tell you why it's not a red card, okay? Again, I have to preface this because people get angry. I think the law should change. Wayne Rooney is right. The law is convoluted and they should be given as red cards. However, what we saw yesterday was Erling Haaland clearly running in a direction away from the goal. It's more towards the corner flag. Now, I understand before anybody says anything that if that touch from him is good, he's going to knock it around the goalkeeper and he can tap it in, thus a clear goal-scoring opportunity. I understand that. What you're doing is failing to comprehend the law of the game. The law must be changed, yes, but you can't do it in the middle of the game. There's a precedent for this season. And I knew about it yesterday. I had to go and research it. The irony in this is amazing. Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. This was the week after Saliba's red card. Do you remember it? Palace player goes through. I'm not too sure if it's who it was actually at this moment. But he goes through and he's brought down. And we all said, that surely should be a red card. There's no covering defender. He's nearer to the goal than Saliba was. Has to be a red card. It might have been a couple of weeks after Saliba's, but it's by the by. But what the PGMOL said, confirmed and backed up by the FA and by the Premier League, is that because the Palace attacker, as you can see, is running away from goal. He's not running towards the goal. He's running in the direction of the corner flag. It's not within the law. It can't be given as a clear denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity because he's not running towards the goal. So it's not as though Henderson yesterday had a decision go in his favor that there is no precedent for. They've clearly stated this all season. Where I'm on City fans' side is the law should be changed. Where I agree with Wayne Rooney is the law should be changed. However, What we cannot ask referees and the PGMOL to do is change the law or break protocol in the middle of a game. That would be egregious. That would have a smell of corruption about it, surely.
All poor stuff on the pitch. Didn't do enough. Palace didn't have a chance in the second half, but they got that early goal. Eze, it's a great finish.
Well, they did have a chance. They scored a goal and it was disallowed. They were very dangerous from throws and set pieces into the box. So maybe not a clear-cut chance, but they had opportunities. Maybe the last 20 minutes they sat in, but they posed a little bit of a threat.
They've had one chance, one goal. They've beaten us. It's simple as that. We weren't there today. We just weren't there. It's the second cup final in a row now that we've had a disappointing.
And that's also another crazy stat. Pep Guardiola becomes the first manager ever to lose back-to-back FA Cup finals. As this tweet points out, a lot of people thought it was going to be Ten Hag, the Man United manager, who had that record against his name. But Pep loses back-to-back FA Cup finals for the first time. And there's a lot of frustration out there from City fans today, calling on the manager, his tactics, his style of football. Now, you know he isn't going to yield on his style of football. So what's the solution? Are you asking Pep to quit? Do you think Pep should go? This is a question to the City fans complaining about the style of football. A massive summer is needed, there's no doubt. And I disagree that City didn't turn up. They had the ball. They created opportunities. They had excellent shots that Henderson saved. There is just something. There is a zip. There is a buzz. There is a clinical edge, a killer instinct missing from this Manchester City team. I wouldn't say they didn't turn up. There is a fundamental attribute that is missing. That, for instance, Eze, in the back end of this season, he's caught that bug. And do you know what I love about Eze and the goals he scored yesterday, the semi-final screamer that he scored? Legacy-defining goals. Massive goals. You know, and I always talk about this, and I'm just pointing it out so you will understand. When people say winning a medal doesn't mean you've got a better legacy than someone who didn't, doesn't mean you're a better player. Eze's goal in the semi-final performance, Eze's performance and goal in the final literally allowed Palace to win their first ever trophy. That is legacy defining. It's the ability, it's the skill, it's the goals, but it's what those performances, those skills and those abilities led to. Love it. Absolutely love it.
All the Blues that came today. Just apologies from me. You know what I mean? It's
Why? I don't mean this rudely towards this lad. I don't know. What are you apologizing for? You're not accountable for how your team played. Like, it's not for you to apologize for other City fans. I don't get it.
It's devastating. People saying we didn't care about the game. Obviously, we care about the game. I'm absolutely just gutted. Absolutely gutted. It's a terrible performance on the pitch. It was
terrible creativity, terrible finishing. That would be my feedback. I know Henderson pulled off some good saves. I know he did, but there's some of them, you know, especially the penalty, should be scoring. No doubt about that whatsoever.
Oh my God!
To me, so as to the referee and the VAR.
Did you feel it should have been a sending off?
As to them, so.
We didn't get the chance to speak to them, unfortunately.
Me neither.
Pep there doesn't want to get into a conversation about the VAR, saying it should be a red. And again, I understand where he's coming from. I'm just going to reiterate it again. It would go against protocol to send him off. And you can't, because what you're essentially there are always rules that, you know, there's rules that we often go, oh, that's stupid when we see it play out in actuality. But you can't make that, you can't go, actually, it doesn't really work. So do you know what? In the middle of a game, we're just going to change it. You can't do that.
Can I ask about Erling Haaland not taking the penalty? Why was
they decide on the pitch, so I don't know.
You can tell he's frustrated by that. The way straight away his body language changed, scratching his head, the frown come out. Very much. I don't know why. For me, I don't believe him. There is no way he doesn't know who his penalty taker is going to be. That was a ploy and a tactic. Mamouche is going to take the penalty today. But Haaland, you're going to hold the ball. We're going to make the goalkeeper think it's Haaland because you always take it. And then we're going to confuse the goalkeeper by changing takers. The tactic didn't work. I changed my mind since yesterday. I thought maybe Haaland bottled it. No, it's a tactic. It was watching Pep's reaction to this. You can see he got it wrong. Fraud.
Didn't speak with them, I don't know.
He shouldn't have. He's blaming it on the players. That's fraudulent behavior for me. He should be taking accountability.
Obviously, you seem to create enough chances to win 2 or 3 matches today. What?
Sorry?
It seemed like you created enough chances today to win 2 matches.
With 11 players in the penalty box, it was
Look, he starts, if you watch the actual press conference, he starts off by congratulating Palace, but the bitterness, the soreness, it's just fraudulent behavior here from Pep with 11 players in the box. Well, yes. You know, we saw Diaz talk about this last week after the Southampton game. You guys have a stranglehold and a monopoly compared to 80 to 85% of the Premier League and the majority of Europe. You have the money, you have the firepower to buy and do what you want. You buy the best players. Not everybody can afford that, so they have to approach games differently. I'm sick and tired of this elitist bullshit when it comes to how teams play. If Palace went for it and only had 4 or 5 players in the box at any one time, City would have won this game 5 or 6-0 potentially. What would that have done for everybody? It would have been a boring game. City have all of the ball, scoring all the goals, no jeopardy. Who the fuck wants that?
A lot.
But you've only scored once in 3 games now. What can you put your finger on?
Yeah, I think we.
See, it's funny. See, this is where Pep frustrates me. Like, when you do great things, we love hearing from you. When things aren't going right, we also want to hear from you. We want your insight. We want your understanding. And it's the smirks and the frowns. I know he's just lost an FA Cup final. Fair enough. But he's like this if he draws a game when he's 10 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Yeah, man's a sore loser. Simple and as straightforward as that. Listen, everyone, please get the like button hit. Make sure you are subscribing. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.